Yep, there it is. 1 second. Find the goddamn. Good as I'm gonna get. Normally I'd prop it like on a drink or a soda, but I'd be forgetting like to leave the house with my bottle of water. So that's on me. But we're getting back to this. I don't even know, man. For lack of a better term, man, evergreen content. You know what I'm saying? Part one. That's what I'm gonna call it. Just get back to a bit of a substance and just talking that talk, whatever we see fit. So setting the tone here. Had to grab the Virgils and then randomly grabbed this and then got a sandwich called the wasn't the special, was it? I forgot what it was called already. I don't know if it was called the special or something else. The one I usually get has a turkey. This one has some bacon in it, so we'll be having a little bit of pork today. Ain't too bad. I'm not anti-pork. I just try to avoid it, try to minimize it if anything. Because like a spam musubi is like a small amount, even though it is like the chunk of spam on there is like a, how do you explain this? It's fatty. You know what I'm saying, or whatever. I don't want to say not healthy because there's the worst things you can eat, really, right? Fortunately, there's always something worse. There's always like you can just straight up eat a substance. But yeah, I got this sandwich here. I said I forget what's in it already, but we're gonna find out together. It's a normal cheesy build with some other stuff in it. But yeah, buddy. They asked me about pepperoncinis. I didn't even know what that was. But we're getting back to this. I was basically just trying to figure out how to, being completely transparent here, trying to figure out how to get to this 3,000, if not 4,000 watch hours. And it really ain't that far away when you start really thinking about it. A lot of it is just do evergreen content and stay consistent. And that way, you'll get to where you need to be. Oh, I see it. This pepper's kind of hidden. Oh, it's a good ass sandwich. I'm gonna try to tap in a little more with the evergreen content. Just sit there and speak with a little more purpose here and there, right? A lot of times, people drop in and out. I just kind of mess around and we chop it up with them. But if they're friends, they're friends. So when you speak with friends, just you speak to them as friends. Why not? But I don't want to complicate things. I think there's a level of content stuff that you got to do. You know what I'm saying? SRK, what's going on, man? Theodore, what's going on, bro? Are you unemployed? I'm not. Yeah. Trying to do a little bit of whatever on the side. I mean, I treat this like the main thing. You know what I'm saying? I treat it like the main thing, more or less. So, you know, most people's jobs don't add a sense of enrichment to them. You know, they don't give much meaning and purpose to most people's lives. It's just like a day in and out, day in day out thing. But you got to ask yourself how much is that profit or that minimum wage or whatever worth it sometimes, man. What's going on, Rob? What's going on, Rob? Good to see you. Hola, Bore. Ezekiel, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you dropping in. Oh, that's where I'm at. Keeping it honest here, man. Just keeping it honest. A lot of this stuff will go unheard at times. A lot of this stuff will just fly by the wayside. I'm in the USA. It's RK. Where you at, man? I'm in the USA, man. Where you at? Do you live in the US? Yeah. All right, mate, bro. Good to see you. Good to see you too, man. Thank you for being here. Rob said he's in Russia. He might be. He might be, man. Every now and then we'll get a bot here and there, if not like a random person from like Russia or like UAE. You know what I'm saying? We got people from all over the place. Yeah. I'm trying to tap in with this evergreen joint. This evergreen content here. Just trying to, what is the idea of something timeless? And I think like it's funny because in the concept of that, in the grand scheme of things, everything that I was doing and everything that I was creating was always to be like seen 5 to 10 years from now. It was supposed to be like something to reflect on and to have a bit of growth on. You know what I mean? So when I was doing the Meta Ray Ban stuff, you like the shirt? Appreciate it, man. When I was doing the Meta Ray Ban stuff, I walked around different cities, including my own, and I was like trying to document like what if this building is never here? What if the whole landscape of this neighborhood changes? You know what I'm saying? So that's all I was doing. What if this light rail changes? Like when the first light rail on the east side, east of the Lake Washington opened up, I wanted to ride that light rail and see just catch different sights, catch different views. I was like, this is something that's probably a little, I don't want to say timeless, but it's worth looking into in the future. But the future hasn't happened yet. Same thing with Beyblade in this era. Same thing with Pokemon card packs, but then also opening them during a time period of certain music releasing. I was like, all that stuff is, these are like time investments. So, but in the moment, like being present just in general with who I am, a lot of times people see Truancy and it doesn't really make sense to them. And then you're going based off solely the title and the description. It doesn't tell you much. So for those that have always tapped in with this content, when it comes to evergreen content, I've tried to approach it as such all the time. Even when I'm like low energy and kind of lazy, I try to approach it the same way. But I appreciate everyone dropping in and out. Thank you. We're keeping it chill. We ain't doing nothing crazy like doing backflips and all that weird shit. You know, I ain't mad at that because I like watching Speed and KSI. Like I like watching those channels. So it's stuff like that where it's like people who are like naturally more energetic and goofy. Like I like watching that shit. But for me, it's a conversation piece, and like I try to address everyone in the chat as much as possible. You know, sometimes we got people that show up to the chat with like legit concerns, and whether they're fake or not, I want to be able to address them and talk to them accordingly and respectfully. You know what I'm saying? So that's just where I am with my stuff. What I would do on a normal everyday basis, like you don't really see it, but like every now and again, I'll just sit. Like the whole purpose of the Truancy Hour. When I first did it was audio form. I did audio form of this podcast, just straight audio. It was just me on my phone. But then afterwards, I would, or sorry, before that, the inspiration for doing the audio form was the simple fact that when I used to skip school, I was playing truant. I used to have a lot of truancy, like legit truancy hours from skipping school. So I would play truant, skip school. I'd be hanging out downtown, Capitol Hill, certain areas, and I'd be chopping it up with the homeless, like homeless people and just random people just on the street around the corner. I would just chop it up with them, and that was my original truancy hour. So like, what I would normally do or how I would normally speak, I just decided that's gonna be the podcast, and it's been that way ever since. I'm just over here just chopping it up. And Rob, at the time, I wasn't even smoking or drinking. I would just be talking to him. That's back when the fiends could like tell you some like real life shit. It wasn't so it wasn't so fucked up that like you know if you get both. Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, getting bud from the homeless, that's fire. But it's funny, man, because it's like that's all I fucking do. Yeah, we keep the bud in the bag in the bush. It's funny. So like I was walking through the neighborhood in like kind of Chinatown area, looking for my homie's stolen shit past couple weekends ago. And I was looking through them bushes. I was looking through certain spots trying to find stuff, and I was like, yeah, it's different now because they got tents everywhere. They got tents everywhere, and they got those little village home joints. So it should be stashed a little differently now. It's a different game out there, but it'd be the same shit. You know, But yeah. So I'm just keeping that same energy and essence from, if I'm doing the math correctly, damn near 15 years ago. 15 years ago I was skipping school and here I am. You know what I'm saying? Like back in 20, I don't even know when that started. 2020 when I started doing Truancy or something like that as audio form. When I was doing that shit, I was like, oh, this is cool. You know what I'm saying? Just walk around, chop it up by myself. I used to drink, chop it up, stop drinking, stop doing the podcast, whatever. And then here I am. But you can still find that shit. But I'm keeping the essence here. So when I think about evergreen content, if I'm being honest, I feel like I've always been doing it. But at the same time, when it comes down to how do I explain this? Like when it comes down to like making things better, like there's always room for improvement and stuff. Made you want to get a part-time job? Wait, I thought you were working already. Well, I guess you have your own business, right? I think you run your own business. I mean, if it helps, man, I don't know. Because the thing is, I'm trying to get the second job, and if I end up getting the second job, I'll uh, I'll probably have less time, and then I'll have to just pre-record things. I'll have to pre-record my videos, which is technically what I do for video games. But mm, yeah, man. 30 hours a week though, that's pretty healthy. And like, I thought about it because the people were asking me, "Is like you trying to do like 30 hours a week?" I didn't realize what they meant, and then I was like, "Oh, you know what? Let me do 24." Because I already know, man. If I stick around for too long and I feel like I'm being overworked, I'm just gonna be upset on accident, and I don't want to treat nobody wrong. You got too much free time. You know what? I know that feeling. That's kind of how I feel right now, but I'm trying to utilize it. I mean, what's good with the YouTube stuff, man? You still doing like the Madden stuff? Would you still do like the tile stuff? I guess I would look at it that way. Because 30 hours ain't bad, man. 30 hours and just do little stuff on the side. Oh no, I'm foul for that. Oh, that Reese's is half melted. White cream and peanut butter cup. She was like half melted. Hella foul. But yeah. Yeah, man, that's interesting because my original job, like the one I did for 5 years, it was part time, like 3 days a week. Um, but it was supposed to be like 24 hours a week, but then they kept giving me so much overtime. And when I figured out like the rhythm of the job, I'm like, this ain't that bad. So I just picked up as much overtime as I could. Like sometimes I get my little 40 to 48 hours a week plus, depending on how much shit I had to do. And they started capping us out. I was like, man, fuck all that. But I still made it work because we got those raises. But all money ain't good money, right? So what do you think about doing, Rob? Like if you end up getting something, you work 3/8, 4/6s. That sounds kind of cool though. 4/6s, that don't sound too bad. Because nonetheless, you still get 3 days to yourself. You know, I would say just work on some YouTube stuff maybe, because it's nice to have like extra forms of income in the long run. Is what I mean. And like I'm not monetized yet, so that's why I'm still trying to do this stuff and kind of contemplating this evergreen content stuff because we just never know. It's important to have days, man. I think we all need that. There's like parts of Europe, like in Italy. I think Italy and Greece, they only work about 4 days max throughout the week. Certain parts, not everywhere, but certain parts because they gotta you know they just understand like it's important to make money and then spend it and live life a bit. You know what I mean? Like not too many people are stressing. Well, I gotta like isolate and grind so I can become a millionaire and then earn things. Like some people are like the real riches in life is just time with friends. Like people think like that too, which is interesting. That's like outside of here. You don't want to burn myself out in construction. Construction like that'll take a toll on your body too, man. That's another thing too. Yeah, man, I know that feeling. That's the thing. I'm doing another physical labor job, and like right away, I was like, "Do I want to do this?" And I remember after rush hour had finished, I was like, "Oh, this is manageable. I understand now." Yeah. So I contemplate a lot of these things, man. The concept of the evergreen content stuff. I mean, most people always, to the day they die, just put time into a job, and you know, I guess like the concept that I always use is this. It's like I was telling people that I used to work at the hospital with. I was like, what's crazy? The hardest working people here are the EVS people, environmental service, because they clean the actual patients' rooms and sometimes the surgery rooms, and then the actual like doctors and shit, and the nurses and ER. You know what I'm saying? Like those are like some of the hardest working people. And I was like, let's say some days you have less patients and some days you have more, and some days it's busier and some days it isn't. Like regardless of how busy it is, you always get paid that certain amount you agree to per hour. You don't get paid for effort. You understand? So that's why like because my channel's at 2.3K videos, I'm like, once it's monetized, all that effort is gonna be like every click is gonna count for something. Every ad that plays on that shit count for something. And you just gotta push it and get there. That's why I just haven't stopped. You know what I'm saying? It's never for nothing. Cause it's like those clicks and playthroughs help. Copyrights here and there, like whatever. Like I just have multiple stuff. And then I'm gonna start posting more original works. The live streams are original works, you know what I'm saying? So it just depends how you want to go about it. That's the way I view it though. Like because if you have the time of day, man, just try to do something outside of yourself. I mean, I don't even, me, bro. The thought of me being on camera seems kind of weird and funny, and like I don't even want to do no funny shit. But here I am trying it out, and I'm getting a bit of success, and it's like, the shit I normally would have did audio form wise on the audio podcast. Like now that I have an actual interactive live chat, it's like, you know what, man, that kind of paid off because that right there keeps me accountable. I can talk to people that can ask me specific questions. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. The last live chat, I was tripping a bit, and I had every right to, but I was just like, you know what, man, that's cool. It's cool to talk to people. It's always cool to talk to people. So it wasn't too serious. But yeah, man. I might get them 2 part-time jobs. We'll see. Some people got full-time, then part-time on the side. I'm like, man, a lot of hours right there. Contracting stuff and trade stuff is always good, man. Shout out to my guy Solarian. I'm probably gonna watch him. He's going live tonight. I'll probably hang out and watch him later tonight. But he does some contract or whatever. He does like a trade job. So I probably need to get there, just get a little trade certification, do something like that. So yeah. Might do that in the meantime. Solarian's there. There we go. What's going on, Solarian? Yeah, Solarian. I've been debating like a little trade I can learn. We'll see though. Because I have something in mind. Maybe I'll tell you about it later. I'll probably tell you about it later. But I have something in mind, but then like I also want to learn a language. So working and lurking, yeah. Uh, trades pay well, man. Like my cousin, he's an electrician, and he made sure he's got like 4 or 5 kids, something like that, and he's doing really well. You know, for the most part. For the most part, obviously things get tiring here and there, but But no, I think this next year I'm about to like learn a trade, and at the same time, I mean, we'll see how things play out. I'm putting too much on my plate if I'm being honest, but learn a trade and try to learn a language, so that way when I move out the country, or yeah, when I move out the country, because I want to, I'll have my trade and my new language learned, and I'm like, fuck this shit, we out. You know, that's the thing too. Like, people are like, don't move to Japan because you got to become like an English teacher. And like, I'm not saying like I'm limited to that, but like having a trade will help, and knowing the language helps too. Like obviously the basics of all that. Yo, this is how warm it is outside. This fucking Reese's is melted. Oh boy. All right, hold on. Oh, this is trash, bro. Reese's is melted. Give me a second. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Learn the electrician trade. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Oh yeah. That's definitely like in my up in my interest and wheelhouse. Um, it's interesting too because I just like have plans to like just not live here no more. Just keep my mind out of this place. I mean, a lot of this stemmed from like this understanding because I grew up here. Naturally, I have my 1 second. Naturally, I have a little grief and gripe in certain areas. You know what I'm saying? So things, it's less about the things being too familiar. It's the fact that I actually, like for example, like if I go to certain streets and areas, for me growing up there, I treat it as like sacred ground. So I'm very like peaceful, spiritual, and peaceful, spiritual, and just respectful in those areas. But at the same time, I'm like, you see all these new people moving in, and other people, they're just like, you walk through it so casually, and I'm like, I don't know, man, that don't feel right to me. But that's just because I've been here for so long. Like I know who died here, I know who lived here, shit. So I just need to get away from that sometimes. And thing is, like, I want to move to Texas, but then it's like you're not dealing with anything different down there. It's still America, and it's probably that's as American as it gets. So there's sometimes like I'm trying to get away from some ignorant shit. In Seoul, it's funny, but like I low key would just move to Vancouver, right? It's really just right up the street, like 3 hours up the hill. I mean, up the road. It's funny how that worked, you know. Yeah, W Solarian, man. Good fine, yeah. Electricity is good, man. Electrician. That's the other thing. I have to toss this. I'm a house sitter, but want a new trade like real estate license. Yeah, it's funny because there's like a realty. Sorry, no, there's a what do you call them? Realtor thing that I saw on Indeed recently that was hiring. They said no experience required, and I'm like, it looked kind of interesting, but I know it's more commission based. But who knows if it's in my wheelhouse? But we'll see. Like I had a few things saved here and there. We'll see if I add them. I'm not too mad either way. You know. The thing is, when I show up to each job, I'm usually applying myself really well, so things usually start falling into place once I apply myself. And like right off the bat, once I start learning the job, everything is smooth more or less from there. You know. It's interesting too because I remember when they tried to micromanage at my last job and give us these pagers and then were telling us all this other bullshit. I was like, you know what, man, I just knew I was about to leave. I was like, everything's changing over here. They on bullshit. I'm good off this. But it wasn't so bad. It was just the specific individuals that really pissed me off. But I was like, man, this is why I got to lean more into the content stuff because I have a little more control here. It doesn't pay at all, right? But I have control here. Don't have to deal with individuals I don't like, but there's no pay. So I understand like the concept. You got to do what you got to do to get paid. But on the other hand, that freedom is kind of what I need, man. Me at peace is better than me on borderline crash out mode just to survive. So I think about that stuff. Yeah, that was cool, but only like the custom art pieces. One second, let me go around. I have to walk in these spider webs and shit. Yeah. I can see the rest being annoying to do. I mean, I do like the so on the construction side of things where you have to like use the I forget the exact names, but when you're aligning the wood pieces with the corner of a room, that stuff is pretty fun actually. You know what I mean? When you're cutting things into size and measuring it out, that's always fun. So again, these are like little things that I've thought about and entertained, but I gotta I'm not thinking too much about it right now. Baseboard, yeah. Trim work is right there. You go. That's the technical terms. Yeah, I don't know my technical terms there, but that stuff is always like, I make sure I got everything. Yeah, I'm gonna start walking to the house. But in the meantime, it's like all I can do is walk and talk, you know, until these hours really start rolling. And yeah, so I'm just trying to tap in with this so-called evergreen content here. You know, that'd be a finished carpenter. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Even the what's interesting is like I'm not like certified or nothing, but I have helped people with certain stuff in their home before, construction wise and building a little bit. Like not that I'm not to the point of me being an expert, but just the fact that I've done it before. I was like, I know I could help people with this shit. Also, it's a nice skill to have. So if I ever get a house, I can help pretty much build my own from the ground up. There's people that are building like 4 or 5 bedroom joints. Damn, 4 or 5 bedroom joints with their own money and DIY videos. Just going off the strength of that, saving money, having relationships with the Home Depots and other places that just have the materials they need, which is funny. Well, I shouldn't say funny, but it's just dope. So a lot of these things, a lot of these practical, normal life stuff is nice to have, if that makes sense. Also, it's like it's just getting back to like I get an example like me straying away. So like the end of last month when I said that's the last day I get to buy Beyblades because one I get to save money, but two I was never into the consumerism kind of stuff, the consumerism side of stuff, I should say. So I mean, I'm the same way where it's like my whole life, all I did was just figure out how to hustle, and I would hustle just to do ignorant shit with the money sometimes. You know what I mean? YouTube and Twitch are a very small percentage that make enough to survive on. Oh, you talking about for you? Are you making money off of that too? But yeah, that's the thing where I'm like, um, it's always nice to have some of the most successful people I've seen actual Beyblade space actually do trade work. You know what I'm saying? Or they have some form of like they started out early with just content in general, and then that they kind of just pivoted into Beyblade, if that makes sense. So they were already kind of in the scene. But my whole thing is every year I'm just trying to do something new anyway. So that's why this year we'll see what ends up happening. 5 to 200. Hell yeah, let's go. Twitch. I heard Twitch is better though, so that's what I'm thinking. Like, I might start transferring, moving things over on Twitch, but again, I'd have to have the setup. Also, during my 5 month unemployment period, I never picked up any unemployment checks. You know, so and like I never knew how. Like something just told me I never wanted to take unemployment checks because one, I never felt like I was physically handicapped, and two, I was never necessarily fired or what's the word I'm looking for? Like you know what I'm saying? Like fired for like a bad reason, basically. Never had that. So almost nothing compared to hours put in. Yeah, yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, right. So what I was saying earlier was it's really funny because I was thinking about this. I was like, man, my channel's at 2.3K videos. Like 1.1 of those are shorts. So that means like another 1,200 are videos. Um, whether they're an hour long or not, whether they're video games or not. But nonetheless, I was like, once I hit that monetization moment, it's over because all that shit matters. Every click through rate and whatever matters now. You know what I mean? But that's my concept and that's my idea of like putting the work in. I was like, it doesn't matter what happens because when it does, I'm already sitting on a 2,000 pile of whatever, soon to be 3,000. You know what I mean? So that's just the way I looked at it conceptually or whatever. So it just made sense to me to just keep on going, keep on trying. But um, it's funny because I don't know what the word is. Like I've never lost motivation or faith or whatever. But some days I'm just tired and I'm like forcing myself over and over. I was like, no, I got to find a balance because I'm over here doing the most at no cost, at no profit or whatever. So I'm trying to refine myself as well because I really like. I'd be looking at my shelf of everything I've collected. A lot of the things with Beyblade and Pokemon was I bought two of everything, and with my CDs, my CD collection stuff, I already have them uploaded into my laptop as much as I have them on a terabyte. You know what I'm saying? And it's easier to store that terabyte of data, just walk around with it. But then it's like if push comes to shove, we sell those we sell those CDs. So like I thought it was gonna happen in the past 5 months, but it didn't. Your boy's in there. Is that him? I can't see shit. What's going on, your boy? He's in there. Jackson Cross. But yeah. So that's just kind of where I'm at with it right now. It's like I'm being a little, the thing is the more diligence I put into it now, the more things flow in the future. People want to delay the thinking process, but I try to think through as I'm actually making the actions for future. You know what I'm saying? Like for what was what I'm looking for? Future endeavors, if you will. So I'm just staying on point with everything. But the thing is, like, if I don't exhaust myself now, there can be a point in time where my body's a little less. You know what I'm saying? Like I think about that where it's like I know a handful of people right now. My bad. So what your catalog? It's like I have these CDs like that I've bought over time, just some classic stuff. But like they don't really sell CDs no more. So it's like I just have like hell of them that I bought over time. Like I got a DJ Quick album that for whatever reason they just stopped producing them. There's not much reproduction on it, and I can sell it anywhere from 40 to $100 because it still has the poster inside. So it's little shit like that. And then there's other albums like Del the Funky Homo Sapien. That dude, he got a specific album that when I bought it, it was like $35, 3-disc album. So I know it's priced and marked up a little higher, just in normal. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny how like CDs kind of get like their value kind of goes up over time based off of what you know what I'm saying, like just shit like that. Like certain CDs that I own go up over time, but again, that's push come to shove. Just make a $30 to $40 a pop for a CD over there because the same thing is the same concept for the fitted hats I would collect, fitted hats and snapbacks I would collect. I could sell them anywhere from 35 to 50. You know what I'm saying? He'd be like, you can't find this color anywhere anymore. All right, cool. I'm gonna charge 50 on it. You know what I'm saying? The Dell CD. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's the thing about collector's items, man. It's like there's sentimental value to certain things and some of them, but then the thing about it is like um, they're just items. They're just products. So it's like I remember my cousin got upset, like, no, I want the item for Filipino night at the Mariners game because it's sentimental. And I was like, the funny part to me is, you know, yeah, it's a Filipino branded Mariners item, which is cool, but it's like I'm okay with reselling this because the only time the family gets together to hang out is during this fucking Filipino night. But when it comes to just regular family night, nobody wants to make a fucking date. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, fuck this item. I'll just sell the shit anyway. You know? So what use hats? You know what's funny is like, and the way I be using them, you know, I don't know if you ever see me like in the wintertime, like I just rotate my hat so much. I have such a rotation and I keep them in such good shape that like I'll just knock off $5 to $10 on it. Sometimes I'll hit the little spray on there. You know what I'm saying? Like not a little fragrance spray, but like a little just like hat spray. You know what I'm saying? You just double check a few things. You don't gotta wash it or nothing. But the thing is like I don't be wearing my hats like in sweaty situations or summer situations like that. So they're always in good condition. If anything dusty. Some of them though, like the little the under visor or the like the not the brim, but the under visor be white. So I don't be selling those because I got my forehead oil and shit, oil and sweat on there, so I can't sell those. But everything is everything, man. You know, you sell like you think about it, you sell anywhere from 4 to 5 hats. If you're doing them at 20 a piece, you got $100 now. If you're selling, if you had the one you're selling for 50 a piece, you got 200 to 250. And I used to do that shit. Like I remember having to fundraise money when I was going to Rent and Technical College. That's when I got my certification at Rent Tech. And then the same thing conceptually. When my mom had passed away and I needed money for the funeral, same thing. I flipped hella shit I had, and it was just like, my bad. I had like this Portland Trailblazers hat. It was like a red hat, but it had a gold plate on it, which was the plate was the state of Oregon. You easily sell that shit for like 50 or whatever, you know. So it's like you wear it a few times because you have a rotation of things. Shoes, it was the same thing. Like if you just have shoes, you know, it's easier to clean up shoes. But I don't be understanding the shoe market like that, so I just don't know. But everything else is like you can just flip everything, man. T-shirts and jerseys and shit. You know what I'm saying? And that's the idea is like if it's about making profit, you know, that's where I'd want to like stay on here, stay on like what do you call this? I want to stay on what is this? Social media or whatever, like YouTube or whatever. If it's talking about profit and shit, but if we're talking about, for example, if you spend $80, anywhere from 80 to $100 on a jersey, and you can resell it for like same thing, 80 to 90, you know, anything less than 100. Like, yeah, you're not making profit, but you're making your money back when you need the money back, if that makes sense. Like, you're always buying things that have value, if that makes sense. That's the way I look at shit, though. You know, because people will say shit like, people will always be saying shit like, why do you have such nice clothes? And I'm like, it's not the fact that I have nice clothes, it's the fact that at any point, because it's a very specific brand, I could just resell this shit. You know what I'm saying? I got an Adidas jumpsuit. It's been used because I wear it all the fucking time, and I can wash it when I need to. But it's like, you know how many people want Adidas jumpsuits and they want them on eBay? You could sell that shit at any point. So it's just like always buy valuable shit, collector shit, whatever your expertise is. I would say just stick to expertise related shit. But you know, I'm gonna show you. Look at these, bro. These are the Dame Lillards. I don't even know what year this is. Some Dame Lillard shit. And it's like they're clean. They're kind of dirty. You know, if you look closely, they're dirty. They're not perfect condition. But it's like somebody out there wants this shit. And you'd be surprised, man. When you start listing shit, you'd be surprised who wants it. This shirt I got from Christmas from my cousin, so I'm not selling it. But you know what I mean? Like everything you got is worth something. But when you think about it, it's just money. And if you need the money to survive, why wouldn't you sell the item? It's not like you're selling a person. You know what I mean? I keep my sentimental shit like Christmas gifts and whatever. I got a I got a shirt. It's a Flash, like a Flash shirt, from DC. I still keep that shit. It's somewhere. And then this Cartoon Network shirt I got in Christmas, so it's like I keep those because someone bought it for me. But all that other collector item shit, I'm like, it's just an item, bro. That's how I look at it. But I think about that, man. I gotta flip everything. Take them. It's just they're just things, man. People when they move and they travel, they want to bring everything with them. I'm like, I mean, shit. That goes back to the recording all this content. It's like when you're recording this content, I documented that I had shit. All them cards you see, I'm willing to sell those. All the Beyblades you see me buy, I'm willing to sell those if necessary, because they're really just items. You know what I'm saying? I don't have that attachment, bro. I truly don't even have the earthly attachment. On some spiritual shit, I don't have the earthly attachment for it. You know, some people really die for like a over some shoes, and I'm like, nah, fuck all that. So I'm not on that level basically. It's just items. You know, that's one thing that we joke around, and that's one thing we joke about in Solarian's live stream is when we collect cards, it's just like holographic cardboard when you think about it. But it's just the images are very, what I'm saying? I don't know what the word is for that shit, but it induces like a serotonin basically. So you just sell serotonin. That's all it is. Just sell serotonin. It's kind of crazy. But hey, man, there it is. I'm pretty much back at the house. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all, man. Peace.